Okay, so why don't you describe your business?
We're in a unique business in that we're a throwback in some of our ways to the old days of stereo shops, but we have incorporated new technology, computer audio, streaming services. So video has become a big part of it as well. We do home theaters, we do turntables. So we're a unique store in that we don't do what everybody else does. I think there's only a few of us left like that.
Right. And what was it like, what made you decide to open this business?
It's been my hobby for eternity. When I sold a couple of other businesses, I decided, now what do I do? And I decided to do something I enjoyed rather than something that was just for money.
Good answer. And so what was it like when you first started?
Well, it's always tough. You know, when you first start a business, you have debt because you're always going to spend more than you anticipate when you first start. But we kept that to a minimum, and we did most of the expansion of the company out of the cash flow as it went along. I think the most important thing with a new business is not to incur too much debt. Make sure it's very serviceable and that your cash reserves can cover it.
That actually was one of the later questions as well. So what surprised you most? What surprised you most when owning a business?
I've owned several. So I was a business owner first at 27, so I've been doing it a long time. But I think the hardest thing for people to get used to is the fact that you are responsible for everything when you own it. Whether it goes well or whether it goes poorly, there's really nowhere else to look except in the mirror.
And what would your customers say they love most about this business?
It feels like a family. I mean, we treat our customers the way we want to be treated. It's that simple.
And what was the most memorable experience you've ever had working with a customer?
Having a woman who had no idea what this was and didn't want any part of it, starting to cry when I played her favorite music, and going, "Okay, you win," and that was it. She just and I just said, "We're not trying to win." She goes, "No, this is worth it. He can buy whatever he wants."
Very nice. And do you have any exciting plans for the future that you want your customers to know about?
Basically, we're upscaling. Our customers are forcing us to move up in the market because no one else around here is really filling that gap. There's super high end and there's low end, but there's no one in the upper end of the middle and into the lower end of the high end. So we kind of take over where Tweeter used to be and move it up a notch. So that's really where, and there's no one else doing that right now.
And what's something that people don't know about this business?
That's a really good question. That everybody here is here because they want to be, not because they have to be.
True. And what are some of your business idols and role models, and why?
Business idols. No one in particular. I've read a lot of business books. I think what we tried to do, if you really go back to the early days of Walmart, when Sam Walton had a family business and treated everyone like family, which they got lost along the way when they get giant. Yeah. I think one of the things we've decided to do is never go for the big business. We want to remain small. We want to remain like a family. I think the closest thing I could describe to this would be if you grew up in a small town, there was a hardware store where everybody knew everybody, there was a grocery store where everybody knew anybody. This is what we are. We're the audio store where everybody knows everybody.
Cool, cool. What do you like most about being an entrepreneur?
I think that it's gambling on yourself. I mean, I don't gamble per se, but I guess having had a number of businesses, you're always gambling on yourself because you think you can control more of it.
You've never really had a job, though, it sounds like.
I was in corporate life for 4 years when I said that's enough. I got
Wow.
out of college. I was a legislative aide for a short time. I was in insurance sales. I became a sales manager for a printing company, and then by late 20s, just before my 28th birthday, I went, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm done.
Good for you. I mean, most people, it takes them a long time to come to that realization.
Yep.
So what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs?
Just, if you have an idea and you really want to do it and you have a passion for it, just do it. But don't do it without money.
Now, do you live in Nashua?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you love about this neighborhood?
Nashua is a great city. I mean, I came to Nashua in the early 80s because I took over as a sales manager for a company back 35, almost 40 years ago. And it comes down to this. It's an hour from Boston, it's an hour from the ocean, it's an hour from the mountains, and they have everything I need here. It's a great place to raise kids.
Very good. And what are your favorite places to go in the neighborhood?
We go to we're season ticket holders for Symphony NH, so we always do that. I go over to Londonderry, Tupelo. Music's kind of the central focus of everything we do. So we, around here we do music, live music, in a number of different places.
That's great. And let's see. And why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
Because if you're shopping local, the main reason is because it's a smaller business. I mean, we have our cell phones on every business card. People can reach us whether the store's open or closed. It's about service. It's about treating people differently than they can get at a large corporate experience. So that's really the bulk of what we do. We treat people very differently. And we actually care about our customers like they were part of the family.
Nice.